For the past month, I've been using and testing the Ultrahuman Ring Air. It's a wearable health tracking device without a subscription that has given me all sorts of insights into my daily habits. And those insights have resulted in actual changes to my behavior, which at the end of the day is the whole purpose of using something like this. Now, I do need to say up front, I received this ring for free from Ultrahuman in exchange for this review. That said, they have not paid me and they have not reviewed what I'm about to say. So first of all, what I liked about this ring. I love the level of detail that the app has and the number of metrics that this thing tracks. I've reviewed competitor rings on this channel before, and none of them have as many metrics as the Ultrahuman does. For example, the Ultrahuman app has a widget where you can log caffeine intake, and it shows a chart of how much of the caffeine remains in your body as the day goes on. And it shows you a sleep threshold, so you know at what time your caffeine is below a level where that caffeine will interfere with your sleep. That feature has made me more aware of how long caffeine lingers and how 3 cups of coffee as opposed to 2 will keep me wired way longer into the night. So that's the first way that this has really changed my habits, is simply more awareness around my caffeine intake. It also shows you a sleep debt number, a social jet lag score, a cardio age, and there are these things called power plugs, which are like add-ons or extra little widgets that give even more capability to the ring. The second thing I like about the ring is that there's no subscription. I hate buying a device that I don't actually own. I'm talking about ones where you buy it and then you have to pay a subscription in order to use it. If that's the case, you don't own that thing. Now, I can't give Ultrahuman a perfect score here because they do have an optional subscription and they advertise it in the app, which I don't love, but at least you can use the ring without being required to have it. The third thing I liked about this ring is its size and comfort. Of the ones I've reviewed, this is the lightest, most minimal, and most comfortable overall. It's easy to sleep while wearing it, and it's easy to go about my daily tasks. The only time I have to remove it, and this is true of all rings, is when I'm lifting weights. It's hard to hold a barbell while wearing this thing, and it'll also scratch it if you wear it while lifting. I also like that it's not as bright as some rings I've tested. In a dark room, there's very little light spillage coming out of the ring's sensors. That's something I've had happen with other rings where there's light, green light or red light coming out the sides. Lastly, I really liked the SMART Goals checklist. It's a customizable checklist of daily habits that you try to hit every day. So for example, I have 9 SMART goals here, which includes a bedtime, which I didn't hit last night, a wake up time that I didn't hit this morning, a sleep duration goal that I did hit, and a sleep cycle goal. Plus, these top 5 are movement related goals that I haven't hit yet for today, but will soon. So that's been a really useful metric. And then I find myself not wanting to break the streak. So if I get a few days in a row of 9 out of 9 SMART goals hit, well, I find myself a bit more disciplined to go to bed on time in order to hit my metrics. It's just a little psychological trick, a little gamification. Now, the things I didn't like about the app. Number 1, it's a lot. Now, this is the other side of the coin of how I like the level of detail. There are a ton of widgets and metrics, and that leads to there being a lot of clutter, things that I didn't find myself looking at and possibly distracting from metrics that really matter. I wish you could customize the homepage with more granularity, and you can turn things off to an extent, but overall, you don't have full control. And that leads to my second thing. It's hard to find stuff in the app. There was a learning curve to it. I'd say it took me a couple weeks to really get comfortable with all the ways that I use the ring. And in fact, it still takes me longer than it probably should to log certain things or find certain things. And so there's a bit of a learning curve. And number 3, I mentioned this, but I don't love that there are basically ads on the homepage. And if you look at the tabs on the bottom of the app, 2 out of the 5 down here are for other products that they sell. So if you press metabolism or home, these are almost ads to upsell their other products. Now, of course, it would be incredibly convenient if you were using these products, but I'm not. So I wish they could be turned off, out of sight, out of mind. As for the ring itself, I think it's high quality. I wore it in the sauna, in the shower, at the gym. Never had any issues with it. The battery consistently lasted around 5 days, and that's with logging multiple daily workouts, which It warns you on the screen that it uses more battery power in order to do those. And that's also with testing the different battery modes, because it has the option to go to turbo mode or chill mode or battery saver mode, where it'll consume more or less power. It'll track more or less things, which will cause the battery to drain faster or slower. It also has this really nice charging dock that you slip the ring onto, and it fully charges the ring in about an hour, depending on where you're starting from. Overall, I really like the ring. So far, it's my favorite of the ones I've tested. There's something about this ring that has led to more actual behavior changes in me than any other wearable I've tried. And I think if I had to point out a few things, it's the caffeine tracker I mentioned, the SMART Goals checklist, and one that I didn't mention, which is that it tracks sunlight exposure. So that's pretty cool. And it lets you know if you're getting enough vitamin D for the day. So among those features and others, this ring is helping me sleep better and live healthier, which at the end of the day is the purpose of these things.